During our conversations this weekend, there were two questions that I wanted to raise to the level of this platform. The first one, as you talk about Black and African American health reform, why do you bring up social stuff so much? My first internal reaction was one of defense, because it seemed apparent to me. But I considered the source, and I know that this person is intelligent and sincere. So that helped curtail my outward reaction. So I checked myself, a thing I ask people to do all the time. I got to live up to that same standard. Many people just literally don't know, right? Their lens is shrouded by the veil of their experience, their sphere of influence, and the people they encounter, where they get their education and their culture. So I realized this is an opportunity for us to grow. The reason why I bring up social stuff so much, the laws and the events in history, is because everyone's health is tied to the environment in which they live. This is true for every living thing, including the cellular level. Tumor cells cannot live in an unfit cellular environment. And guess what? When that cellular environment becomes unhealthy or dangerous, or they have an active immune system that's really informed and targeted and active, the tumor succumbs or fights to change its environment or change itself through angiogenesis, which is basically a way to help it sustain its own life through oxygen, getting access to blood supply, or through mutation, where it just changes itself. There's something we could talk about, but I digress. You simply cannot separate your environment from your health. On the whole level, as a human up here, as we engage one another, this is called social determinants of health. The World Health Organization formally defines it as the condition in which people are born, grow, live, work, age, and a wider set of forces and systems shaping the condition of life. This is why I bring up social issues, because you simply cannot separate the environment in which you live and your health. This is often forgotten by the Black and African American community. Bays don't always participate in voting, certainly not to the level that I think we should. We don't participate in local community town halls and such. And it's because maybe sometimes we forget or don't understand or don't see the relationship between our local environment and every other aspect of our lives, including our health. We continue to talk about how things need to change, like, on the cellular level, as I alluded to earlier, but unlike cells in your body, we don't actually pull forth those changes. That's something we'll work through, and we'll talk about at the bereaved web session. So thank you for bringing up that question, and thank you for having courage. The other question was, I seem to always talk about obesity, and my focus is in cancer. What's up with that? Okay, so why do I talk about obesity so much when my focus or my background has been in cancer, which I should add, not only is cancer part of my background, I've also worked in urology, endocrinology, HIV and AIDS, and gastroenterology. But yes, for the last 23 years, I've really focused in hematology and oncology. But that's neither here nor there. To answer your question, there's an association between obesity and cancer. And more importantly, the focus on obesity is not my opinion. It's not what I think. It's not some sexist view of a partner or pronounced preference on an opinion or outward beauty. In fact, of the 10 most common causes of death, obesity can be associated with at least half of them. So obesity is a very important topic and associated with so many negative health outcomes. It is very central to one of the conversations I have, not to mention the fact that, of course, obesity in the Black and African American community is rampant, and Black and African Americans die at a more consistent and rapid rate than others of the same condition. So this is why, as a champion in the fight against illness, specifically addressing disparities, obesity is one of my central issues. So finally, I want to reiterate, my aim is to support governments, health systems, pharmaceutical companies, large population-based organizations that seek to understand the opportunity in addressing the health outcomes gap between Black and African Americans and everyone else. Anyone can take up this fight, no matter your racial identity. But as a Black man in America, I also seek to work within the spectrum of Black and African American cultures to provide access to education, to enable health care related decision making, and to empower sustainability in healthcare related or health related quality of life. And I call this ADC model, awareness, decision, commitment. So I want to thank you for raising those questions, and I hope you found my answers fulfilling. I will also include a couple of links that will illuminate or bring validation to my comments. Thank you.